guys, and welcome back to the Unbothered podcast, where today we have a very special guest, the one and only, an OG and all-stars queen.
I'm actually in front of the grocery store just sitting in my car.
That is goals. I need to go to the grocery store myself, so thank you for reminding me. We will not take too much of your time, but we are super excited. I know myself, I have been watching you since you debuted as a 21-year-old party girl from Texas on The Real World Sydney. And then obviously the first time we saw you on the challenge was The Island, which is the most different season than they have ever done. And after debuting on that kind of a season and then having the other ones where it was a totally different format, how disastrous did you find The Island?
I mean, well, I was 20 actually on The Real World. I turned 21 the day we left. So I was quite young. But yeah, we got the call and they had said, like, it's going to be different than the other challenges. You'll be cooking your own food. And I'm thinking, cool, cook my own food. That sounds great. I like to cook, I like to make what I like to eat. So that sounds perfect. They didn't say like, oh, there'll only be rice, and minimal amounts of anything else. It was really challenging, and it was actually it was really good for my self-growth for sure. And it was cool to experience such trialing times, but the people were really different, and I felt kind of like I was in like Lord of the Flies, like I just was like, how are we letting the biggest idiots who eat the most food stay here when we're so hungry and they're so mean and so dumb? And it was like everyone was following them, and I was like, and how are all of you listening to the biggest idiot who's stealing our food? It was very eye-opening to see how people interact with each other, and it was kind of like, and often I feel with these challenges, it's almost like you see how worlds are created and communities grow, and like how things can act. It's like its own little culture in place, and you get to watch how leaders are made and how followers become. And it's just like this weird way of seeing the whole world in a very small view right in front of your face. It's interesting, hard to explain, but interesting.
I think us as viewers were on your side. I mean, we felt the same way watching it. I just watched it again recently, and it's just crazy how some of the people acted. So
you don't even see how bad it was. That's
I bet, yeah.
So,
yeah. Well, how did you feel when you got the call for All Stars?
Honored.
Yeah.
And I'm really proud of Mark, but also just like amazed by what we create with our minds. I said, and I've been saying it more and more the last couple of years, like, oh, I wish they would just do it like a challenge for adults, like not these young 20-year-old kids. I don't want to compete against these young kids with all this energy. Like, that sounds awful. I want to compete against like adult people who have been living life and having careers and like just want to get away for a while and like challenge themselves, right? And that's what's so beautiful about these challenges, is that you really are challenging yourself mentally, physically, making new friends, and just kind of getting out of your comfort zone. That, like, I'm sure everybody watching has, can relate, that like every day is the same thing so often. And so changing it up and like opening up your brain, and it's just so exactly what people in their 30s and 40s and 50s need. And so I was just fucking thrilled. I was hoping it wouldn't be too hard, and it was, but it was just like such a blessing to be able to change my field, my energy around me.
Nice.
Yeah, and we absolutely loved seeing you back. I mean, I know when they released the cast and I saw your name on there, I was like, oh my God, yes, I love KellyAnne. We haven't seen her since Rivals 3. Can't wait to see what she brings. And I mean, per usual, you killed it. And you mentioned about making new friends, which does bring me to a question. Obviously, we all know that you and Kendall were really good friends throughout the series, but were you friends with her beforehand? Had you ever really talked to her, or was All Stars like the first time you ever really met her?
I never knew who she was. Tori and I are not we're getting closer over the years, but we didn't know each other either, but we have talked, and like going into it, I was like, are you going on the show? And she was like, no, but I know Kendall is, and she's really sweet. And I knew that like Tori gave me like the sign of approval, but like Tori's friends with people that I don't necessarily like sometimes. So that didn't mean too much. And then we didn't talk at all on the way there, like on the plane. I was, talking to Estella and a bunch of other people a lot, but not really Kendall. Casey Cooper was on the plane with us because she was supposed to be on it originally, so I hung out with her. She's so good. And then I had lost my luggage because, one of my bags had 2 bags, and if you only get one paid for, which is crazy, by the way. And so Abram was supposed to be on it, and he was like, because, totally Abram style, he had like just a backpack. And he was like, I'm just carrying my backpack. Like, how? I have 2 large bags, a backpack. Like, he's amazing. But he's like, I could check anyone's bag, like on my things. It can be free if anyone needs it. And I was like, yeah, me. And so I put it under his name. And then when they wouldn't let him get on because of COVID, my luggage was taken off too.
Oh no.
Yeah. So we ended up getting it, within like a week, like less than a week. But it was crazy and stressful, and it was like all my vitamins that I really needed. But Kendall calls me up in my room. I don't even know how she got my room number. And she's like, okay, what do you need? Like, what do you mean? She's like, I got you. Like, you need like toothpaste, toothbrush, you need face wash, body, what do you need? Stool softener, and all the adult things. And it was just really nice. Like, she was just really, really there for me from the start. And she was really there for everyone. She kept connecting people. Like, my dog got really sick while I was there, in quarantine, torture. And like, she was like, you should contact, Elton. His girlfriend's a vet, or whatever she was, is a vet. And, he works in that industry. And I was like, I don't really want to. Like, I don't want to talk to people about this. And she's like, no, I really think you should. He's waiting for your call. I already told him. And so I called him, and he was so helpful. And him and I talked for hours, and it helped me out so much with my dog. And that was Kendall putting us together. Like, that didn't benefit her for her game. That was just her being an awesome human. And so I kind of just like witnessed that. I was still like on guard though, because she's nice to everyone. So I was like, I don't know. And then like as the show continued and the challenge continued, it just like I kept like seeing her true colors come out, and they were just brighter and brighter and brighter. And she's just like this heavenly person here on earth. Just what a God's angel. Of course, we're friends. How could you say no to being friends with someone who's such a good person?
I think we were all excited to see you defend her too on the reunion, because I didn't like that people were just trashing her and she wasn't there. It
was confusing. I actually really liked everyone at the reunion. But it was, first off, I thought it was ridiculous they didn't invite her. I told them they hadn't watched the show before they started. It was all really rushed, so they didn't get to like watch it. They had to go around asking all of us like what happened. And I told them, I was like, you need to have Kendall there. She didn't do any of the after shows because of work stuff, and like you need to have her because she's a huge part of the show, and such a survivor on this show. And they didn't listen. And I was like, COVID, they are limited on people, and I was like, well, why don't you just Zoom her in? And they didn't do that, so that was weird. But they asked a bunch of questions about her, which I thought was kind of inappropriate. Like, you're not going to have her, but you ask questions about her.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was weird watching the people get so excited and like riled up as soon as they would ask a question about her. And I was kind of like, I was sweating, like I was like, what is happening? Why are you guys like so angry at her? Like it didn't make sense to me. But I know after the reunion, Stella and Kendall talked, and they had like a great like 3-hour conversation. They're like really cool now, and I think they just like there's misunderstandings that happen in the house, that like you don't get to see. I don't even get to see all of it, and then people talk and they realize like me and Arissa, she just didn't trust me, And I was like I didn't understand why. And I have a feeling there was someone buzzing in her ear. I won't say who, though they said they didn't. It just, that's the only thing that makes sense. But now that the show's over, we talk and we get along wonderfully. So it's just, it's hard when you kind of get to know someone on these shows. So I get it.
Yeah, I can understand that. That was actually one of the questions we were going to ask you was, what was it like being in the house with so many people again, because normally you're on your own or, just with a couple of people, and then you're in this house full of people. What was that
Especially
like?
during COVID. I mean,
yeah.
Going from COVID, it was great. I mean, I remember the first couple days, like talking to Katie and Trishelle and being like, do you guys notice like how all the guys like are talking over each other and they want to tell their story like about their life over each other? Like, it was just like really funny, like these like extreme personalities, and they'll be like, and they all have insane stories. I mean, like the most interesting humans ever. And they'll all just be like on top of each other, like not even taking in what the last person said. You're like, whoa, you just dropped out like a bomb on us. And the next person's like, check out this bomb. And you're like, should we take a second to talk about what they just said? And so it took a little bit to get used to that. Like, I was like, have you guys noticed? And they were like, yes, But then after a couple of days, it was like, I craved that energy so much. Like, I came home and I love my friends here. I have great friends in Manhattan Beach, but I was like, damn, you guys need to step it up. I'm bored, like entertain me. Like, it's just, these people are pure entertainment, so much more like in person than even what you get to see on the show. They're amazing humans, all of them.
I love that. And speaking of, because we don't get to see everything on the show, what is the craziest thing that happened in the house that they didn't really air?
Let me think. I feel like this season, it just wasn't a lot of crazy. They had a fight that I was hoping they'd air because it was silly with Ruthie and Nehemiah. After we did the log challenge, we were going up the mountain, the whole puzzle thing, and Ruthie's like, Nehemiah, you were looking at my puzzle, and it was like, of course he was. Like, that's part of the challenge. We cheat. Like, it's fine. I grew up being a cheater. It's fine. And I did. I always cheated, and it didn't help me out. It's not good for the kids. Anyways, but and she was really upset. It was like, first off, Ruthie, he's looking, like, automatically you're going to look at people's stuff because you're just like, what am I doing wrong? And it's not like she had the right answers. They didn't we all were guessing, like you look at someone else's puzzle, it's kind of silly because they might have it wrong. You should look at the cheating board that's like right down the road there. But she was so mad about it. And he was kind of like, I don't even remember doing that, but like, I'm sorry if I did. And, like, it's not like I still beat you. It's not like I, got it off of yours. I'm pretty sure he beat her. And she got pretty upset, and it was a whole thing. And she called him a plastic Buddha. She's like, you're a plastic Buddha, and it was just like hilarious. I mean, and then apparently she like put her hand on him. I didn't see that. I don't think it's fake. I don't think she like pushed him. I think she put her hand. People were like upset by that. It was really pretty funny. The plastic Buddha stuck. We're like all in a group chat, and we're like talking about everyone's nicknames, and like we mentioned like plastic Buddha, and he's like, I never agreed to plastic Buddha. She calls me when I drink, so I don't drink often, but when I did drink, she called me drunk Buddha because I get really like drunk and like happy. She's great.
He should just accept plastic Buddha because it's much better than tenderoni.
Yeah,
it is. So I think it means fake Buddha. I don't think he likes that, but and I did, like, again, part of the game is like you look at people's stuff. That's where they block it. Like, I actually on the final, the first puzzle, I was like, Mark, dude, I'm not getting this. You're gonna leave yours up for me. And so like you watch the show, he's like, check, and he looks at me to see like if I got it, and I'm like, okay, thanks, and then he runs off. So I finished immediately after him because I cheated off of him, and he was cool with it. Like, there's no reason not to let me cheat a little bit,
Right.
I absolutely love that. Now, we did have a couple of questions from some of our fellow Unbothered members. And one of the question was, how bad for you were the Carolina Reapers?
Oh, they're bad. But I will say, when I eat spicy food, I don't know when this started. I feel like it started like older in my life, like maybe like 25. I started getting hiccups when I eat spicy food. So as soon as I ate it, I vomited. It was like, and so I just like immediately vomited. And I really think that helped me. Luckily, it didn't go out my nose. That would have sucked. But like, I really think, can you imagine? I really think it helped because then, like, even though it was rough, I didn't have as much like hanging out in my digestive system to go down and do what happened to Darrell or Jemmy. But I'm also really used to stomach aches. Like, I live with stomach aches my whole life. So like, I think I'm also just kind of like, yeah, your stomach hurts. That's, everyone hurts, right? You know? And it kind of made me feel too like I had to go to the bathroom. Like, I feel like I kind of flushed stuff out, which I really love. So it was bad, but I also think it was kind of beneficial for my digestive tract, which is weird, but I think it actually helped me poop.
And speaking of which, you absolutely killed the eating challenge period in the final, which, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, aren't you like a vegetarian or a vegan?
I was a pescatarian until I got heavy metal poisoning, so I can't eat fish, and also I'm gluten free, so I have to eat meat now. I just try to eat like really healthy, like grass fed, humanely killed, like good lives. I don't eat any pork or any veal or anything like that. So I actually have it in my contract that I can't eat pork, and I'm definitely sure we ate like a pig's nose or something. So they didn't tell us what it is. I think maybe that's part of the reason, because I have it, and it's my belief. It's not a religion, but it is my belief. I don't feel comfortable eating animals that I don't know how they were killed, and it hurts me. Yeah.
I completely understand that. I just thought it was amazing that you absolutely killed that eating challenge. You were like, I'm done.
So disgusting. Did you see how much there was?
Yes.
It was like 3 pounds of intestines. And I'll tell you, that thing I thought was like a parasite, you can't, like, I'm telling you, people are like, oh, why are they chewing it so much? I tried so many ways. Like, I chopped it up like pill-sized pieces and tried to throw it back. Didn't work. It would just get lodged in your throat. And the longer you waited, the colder the food got, because there was no like fire underneath. They should have put fires underneath those things. That's what they're for. But they didn't. So it got harder and like grosser and like more terrible to chew. And like the intestines, I chewed, and there was so much fat. I'm sorry to give you this information, but you opened up the box. There was so much fat that I had to wipe off the fat off my teeth with a napkin to keep chewing, and then I had to do it again. It happened twice. There was so much fat that I had to literally take it off my mouth so that I could continue chewing.
That is disgusting.
Which is why I was so aggressively vomiting. And I think that's why I was able to beat Ruthie, because I vomited. I'm telling you, like, not a supporter of bulimia, because that's not cool, but like vomiting really helped me out in this final. Between the peppers, and I think that's how I had enough room in my stomach to eat that much food, because it was a lot of food for a person, especially a person my size or Ruthie's size. And even someone's Mark's size, like, it was a lot of food for Mark. And so I do think that the vomiting gave me more space, whereas like Ruthie she didn't vomit, so she just had to wait for it to kind of digest through, you know?
Yeah, I think the eating challenges would be my kryptonite. I couldn't do that.
I mean, they didn't make you guys eat the Carolina Reaper and the meat together. Just like put it on top. It just looked
gross. Can you imagine? I mean, it was like really close together in time. The night challenges, those overnight things, that's my kryptonite. I will tell you, I am the most angry, aggressive, not tolerable person when it comes to not letting me sleep. Like, it was bad enough, the shitty beds. Like, I actually bought a Tempur-Pedic travel set. So if I ever do another show, I will have my Tempur-Pedic travel set, because I hate not getting good sleep. And like, I knew, and I couldn't sleep at all. Like, Mark made me get up most of the time. He was taking those sleeping bags. But every time I would be on that rough with a slab of wood. I would lay there and I had an air pillow and it was fucking freezing. But it was so bad because every time he would like move at all, which you couldn't help but move, it would shake. So no shaking, freezing, and then having Mark get me up and knowing he's gonna wake me up at any moment, I could never go to bed. I didn't get 1 ounce of sleep. I went to like a translucent like stage at one point, but no sleep. And it was, if I was warmer, it might have been more tolerable, but they gave us like they gave us 2 pairs of heat resistant like yoga type pants. So pants that are made to keep you cool in hot yoga, not freezing. Our ice packs, like our water packs that you drink turned to ice. We couldn't drink out of our water packs because they were completely frozen. It was, we got like a cold rush. It wasn't supposed to be that cold, so I don't think they were expecting it, but like, dude, then prepare, do something, give us some fucking heaters. Like, I did. Like, all was like, I'm tired of hearing KellyAnne complain. I was like, yeah, I fucking complained the whole time. It was the only thing that got me through. I complain more than anyone. That's how I live my life. I'll be like miserable and be like, I'm fucking miserable, you know, like that's how I get through. You know, I gotta vocalize.
Well, and it sucks because you know you have another whole day of that the next day.
Yeah, and then it's like, oh hey, it's a foot race against a bunch of dudes who are bigger and stronger than you. Good luck.
Yeah, you've been pretty vocal about the one winner thing.
Honestly, I really didn't know if MTV would be mad at me and like never want me back on the show for how vocal I've been. I'm okay with one winner. I am. I didn't like it. I didn't want there to just be one winner because I knew I didn't have a good chance of getting the money then. But that's selfish. That's not like what I think is like for the show. I think one winner's fine. I just didn't like that it was a foot race because I know that so many women could beat these guys, but there's a reason why we have them separated. We have even sprints and all these sports that are, you know, built by athleticism and testosterone. Like they are separate because the best man will still beat the best woman, and maybe there's a phenomenon chance that there is a woman who could beat all of the men in the world, but that's a phenomenon, and like you're still, the ratio would be much higher for men. So I just didn't feel like it was fair. Anyway, I know it's not that I didn't feel it wasn't fair. It wasn't fair, but I know that either way, if it was like a puzzle, I probably wouldn't have done well at that. So it's not like I thought I had a chance at winning. I just think that I shouldn't have to be twice the athlete to be able to have a chance against beating the men and be good.
Maybe because you spoke out, they'll change it. You know, in the
yeah,
future
I mean, you would hope so. I mean, I said something to TJ, like, as soon as, like, you could look at my face, like, I cross, and I'm like, and he's like, you did great. I'm like, thank you. You know, I'm not thrilled. And then I'm not. And then he's like, I'm like, so is there a winner for the girls? I said that. And he was like, no, they're all equal. Like, he almost, like, stuttered out of his words. And I was like, oh, now we're equal. Cool. I'm glad now we're equal. That's great. You know, you guys go have your periods and do the same fucking thing and tell me how we're equal.
Exactly. Yeah, I absolutely think what they should have done, like even if they made it, you know, still like a single foot race, that it should have been, you know, first guy gets double the points for first place, and then the first woman gets double the points, and then who knows, John A could have.
Love that idea. That's such a brilliant idea, because that's such a brilliant idea. And I saw someone, I don't know if it was you or someone else, message that on Twitter too, and I was just like, that's fucking genius. I didn't think of it. And I was like, you know, you would have lost if it was just the first day. I'm like, yeah, no, I fucking know. This is not about me. But you're right. If it was double for guys and double for girls separately, and then we added the points, that would have been fair. Good job. You should be on the show.
Maybe that's what they'll. Thanks. Maybe that's what they'll do next season.
Yeah. I feel like it probably won't be just necessarily one winner, but maybe. I don't know. I'm curious to know if they're going to like always do it like that, or if it's going to change up the themes. Like, are we going to have a rivals for the All-Stars? Like, I'm just curious how they'll do it.
And you would go back on? You would do it again?
I told TJ as soon as it ended that I would never do it again. I literally, I did. It was the first thing I said. He was like, well, I have to see you guys back. I was like, fuck you. I'll never be fucking back. You know, I was so mad. I didn't say fuck you. That's what I was saying with my face. But yeah, as soon as I got home, I was like, I want to go back right now. Like, I was just like, I miss everyone. And even though I hate being told what to do, it's actually pretty nice, like not having to think about like waking up and what I gotta do today. It's like, no, they gotta tell you what you're doing. No brain work needed. But I won't be doing the next one most likely because my dog's been really sick and I just need to focus on my family right now.
Yeah.
But
that was actually, my heart like exploded when you said what you would do if you won the money. So, because my dogs are my life. So I get it. Yeah.
my whole life. Now, I'm still probably gonna do it. It just won't be as quickly as if I would have won the money, but I will be doing something eventually with a rescue farm, and I want to have it where I'll have like, if I can, it would be nice if I could have the land where people can have retreats there too, and be involved with the animals and be able to show the spiritual connection we have with them and grow. I'm super into retreats and yoga and spirituality, so I want to mix the two and like do an animal rescue, but also have it help humans and us connect with them. So I'll keep you guys posted. I'm hoping in the next 5 years, but it's a dream of mine, and I'm hoping it happens. So I'll let you guys know.
I hope you do it. That's awesome.
Absolutely. And that's a beautiful dream to have. And I'm also a fellow animal lover. A lot of us are. So completely rooting for that all the way. We're going to wrap it up because I know you got stuff to do. So real quick.
Gotta go make some lasagna.
I'm coming over. So if you could pick any female and any male to be partnered up with on a future season, who would you pick?
Wow, that's so hard. Oh, there's so many good ones. Okay, so I'm gonna name a few. Sorry, I have to. Now, I would love to work with Kendall. I think she's a great partner for anything. It's actually a fear of mine that people are gonna pin us against each other if we ever do a show together again, like they did with me and Evelyn. Speaking of good competitors, there's Evelyn, obviously. Then there's Rachel. I feel like Rachel would get it done. You know what I mean? Like, being partners with her, I feel like she'd be very supportive. Just enough mean where I'd be like pushed, by it, but not like defeated. I'd be like, I feel like she'd be kind of a bitch, but like just the right amount where I'm like, okay, I'll show you, but not like, all right, I'll never live up to your standards. I feel like those are 3 women that I would just always be great with. Men, yes, is obviously always on my mind. I mean, he's just a great man, and from the start, like very first challenge, I knew there was rumors about who was going on, and I saw his site. I saw it. I looked up who Yes was, and I remember saying to my boyfriend, "Oh my God, this guy's gonna win." Like, before I met him, I didn't look up any of his past stuff. I just looked at his credentials, looked at him, and go, "This guy's probably good at almost everything, and he's smart as hell." And I didn't realize how good he was going to be at the mental game too. And I think he could be good to work with. Darrell's a great competitor. Yeah, I don't know. I guess there's quite a few great men. I like Mark. Everyone likes Mark, so you're probably pretty safe with Mark. But I don't like men who, I don't mean to say this right after Mark, but I'm just saying the choosing of a man would be very much making sure that I had a voice in that partnership. And I feel like a lot of men, you don't. And so like Yes and Darrell, I feel like you really would, especially Yes. And so that would be a big part of my choice, would be like what man would actually listen to me and let me be part of the lead, because that's been something that's been a struggle on these shows.
Yeah, absolutely. I 100% agree. So right before we go, I have one last question. The person whispering in Arissa's ear, was it Anissa? Blink once for yes, blink twice for no.
Did not just ask that.
It was not.
No. I think Anissa's my friend. I mean, I question sometimes during the show, but I mean, her and I are close, and we do, we have fun together. Actually, I thought the person was my friend then too, but it was just like right after I had talked to that person, and then, yeah, I won't say, but it was surprising.
Okay. I'll figure it out. Yeah. Thank you so much again, KellyAnne, for taking time out of your day to speak with us. This was amazing. As soon as we get it edited and posted, Frankie will be sure to send you the link just so you can check it out. And I know the Unbothered fam is going to enjoy this. And I'm going to drop your social media. I know you have IG. Do you have a Twitter?
You know what? I do. It's the same. It's KellyAnne Judd for all of us.
Okay.
But would you also post it on Yoga Bitches?
Yeah. Love that.
It's missing the I. So it's Yoga Bitches without the I, because some of the social media stuff you can't say bitch.
Yeah.
So we had to take it out.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. And I'll be sure to drop the
Do you have any other shout outs you want to give?
Yeah, I just really want everyone to keep keeping their eyes out for Yoga Bitches, because we, Kendall and I started this company, and we're gonna have an online yoga store with
Love that.
lots of different types of relaxation clothing, and also yoga clothing, but not just yoga clothing, and some stuff with our names on it. And then also we'll have lots of tutorial videos, and I'm gonna be going and videotaping people who are inspirations in the yoga, but also the health field world and alternative medicine. And we'll be having videos for you guys to be watching that will just kind of open up everyone's minds and kind of get us all on the same page, hopefully.
Love it. And we will definitely tag that too and support you and Kendall's new venture. I absolutely love the theme. And everybody, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Unbothered Podcast. You can also follow us on Facebook at The Challenge Unbothered or Reality TV Unbothered, and same with Instagram and Twitter at MTVs The Challenge Unbothered. Thank you again, KellyAnne, so much.
Thank
I hope
you.
have a wonderful weekend.
Thanks,
We love
guys.
you, and we'll see you soon.
Appreciate you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.